Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Meek deals. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
1-1 for Tyson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Chasing 2 podcast. I'm Blake Frazier alongside Dylan Smith, episode number 15. And Dylan, before we jump into some offseason talk, the Dodgers won the 2020 World Series, gone 3 of the last 4 years, and they finally got that World Series.
Yeah, it's good to see him finally get over the hump. Obviously, I'm local. I'm an Angels fan, but, it's good to see him get over the hump in the end. I'm happy for Clayton Kershaw.
Absolutely.
I think that the Rays were probably the weakest opponent they could have gotten as far as the Astros and the Red Sox. Now the Rays, it was the weakest opponent of those three teams. But hey, it doesn't matter. They had great pitching, and fortunately for the Dodgers, so did they. And the offenses just kind of overpowered the Rays, and that was the difference in the series.
Yeah, for me, like you mentioned, Kershaw, after all those kind of failures in the playoffs, not that he pitched bad, but I mean, whenever a big home run was given up, it seemed like he was the guy that came out of the bullpen and gave it up. And, some of that might have been on Dave Roberts, but it was nice to see. I know you really wanted that Clayton Kershaw closeout game before that wild, I think it was game 4 where the Rays came back and won that one. But there's been a lot of guys that have been on that team for a long time, right? I mean, 3rd World Series in 4 years. Guys like Muncy, Ballinger, Jock Peterson, who's a free agent this year. But the guys that got traded from the team, like, do you kind of feel bad for those guys? Like Ross Stripling gets straight to the Blue Jays, misses out on a chance like that.
He's still getting his ring. Obviously, it wasn't there,
true.
but
True.
it's unfortunate for those guys that went through the trials. Puig, Kemp, Ethier, for you, even Greinke in like the 2013, 14. So it does suck for those guys, but I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, there's always going to be those players that you wish would have gotten a ring, but just kind of didn't happen. And sometimes some opportunities just, don't arise when you think they should. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the main guy, like I said, Clayton Kershaw, he got his ring, and happy for him. Finally, it doesn't matter what he did in the playoffs. He got over the hump. It's good to see that. It's good, feel good story.
Yeah.
A little help by Kevin Cash, but
do you want to talk about that?
Of course, let's talk about it.
Like Blake Snell starts the game, he is dealing like the Dodgers' first 3 batters, 2 times through the order, 0 for 6, 6 strikeouts. They're coming up 3rd time through the order. Blake Snell's at 73 pitches, and out comes Kevin Cash. And I'm thinking, this guy cannot pull him right now. Like, let him go. And you can see Blake Snell is visibly upset. Twitter exploded. A lot of former players did not like the move. I know you hated the move. What did you think of it when it happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you gotta have some feel. I understand it's not just in making that decision, though. That was their formula to get there, and that's what brought them to the World Series. Is 3rd time through the order. Hey, we're gonna go with somebody else, but he's the same guy that let Glasnow get blown up with 102 pitches.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like there's got to be a middle ground there. There's got to be, if you're gonna let Glasnow get blown up, and it just makes you think, well, why are you holding Glasnow so high over Snell, who's won a Cy Young?
Yeah,
who is your ace at the end of the day? So it was a little interesting at that point, but I mean,
the thing that was interesting about that's not the first time that Kevin Cash has pulled Snell early too. He did it in game 1 versus the Blue Jays in the wild card, pulled him at, I think it was 75 pitches. I think he got pulled in one of the games against the Yankees early, and then now the World Series. So I don't know. Just I feel bad for Blake Snell. I mean, he was absolutely dealing 5+. He had 9 punchies. Yeah. Like, do you think if Blake Snell stays in, do you think the Rays could have potentially won?
100%. I mean, potentially one is a bold statement. So I would say 100%. I think he's been great at getting out of jams when he's gotten into them, and he's given up 2 hits at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, all it took is, a ground ball double play. I
Yeah.
mean, you saw the Dodgers come to life after he got pulled.
Absolutely.
Even
Yeah.
Bellinger after the game said, "Hey, we got Snell out by the sixth, just like we planned," and was joking.
Yeah.
He's like, obviously, he's like, obviously, I don't know about all that, but but when he got out of there, it was kind of the game changer. So, and Kevin Cash knew too. He said he regretted the move, and it's one of those. It brings me back to the Buck Showalter, where he didn't,
Yeah.
in that
Zach Britton.
instance, he didn't pitch Zach Britton, but in this game, Kevin Cash is pulling probably the best pitching performance that there was in the entire World Series. So, and that's a big statement, especially with the games that Walker Buehler had. But I think Snell topped him at that point, and I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Do you think it's a coincidence that the Dodgers make that big blockbuster move with the Red Sox and boom, you got a World Series? Do you think Mookie Betts made that much of a difference to this team?
Just leadership wise, I mean, I
Yeah.
think also, it makes the lineup deeper. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great fit.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think the Dodgers could have gotten to the World Series still without him.
Like with
Um,
Verdugo?
yeah, I think they could have gotten there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say 100% they're going to win because we'll
Mm-hmm.
never know. But they got there 2 times before
Without him.
without Mookie.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that they would have at least could have gotten to the World Series. I understand Atlanta went up, 3-1. But if we took that out, we just restarted it. No Mookie Betts with where they play first, the Brewers, then the
Brewers.
Padres, then Atlanta, and then
Yeah.
off to the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be crazy to say the Dodgers are still the favorites in the NL.
True. Yeah. Dodgers got to be one of the favorites to repeat. Obviously, like I mentioned, Jock Peterson, a free agent, Justin Turner, free agent, a couple more free agents might be missing, but yeah, congrats to the Dodgers. And now let's talk about the exciting stuff. The Dodgers winning is exciting, but I love the offseason. We got a chance to see what options were not picked up, who got the qualifying offer. The deadline was today, and the offseason officially began today. Free agency is open. Guys can sign, but let's talk about some options that were not picked up. Guy like John Lester, who has been a terrific pitcher his whole career, had a $25 million option and a $10 million buyout, and the Cubs decided to pay him $10 million to hit the market.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they were talking reunion possibly. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the Cubs are going to end up saying, you know what, we have one last ride with this core, or we have to break it down.
Yeah.
And you just can't be paying John Lester $25 million to,
No.
if you wanted to continue to try to win a World Series with this core that they have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising if they went after Bauer, if they went after Stroman.
Yeah.
To replace Lester and get that too with Darvish and one of those two. But I think John Lester is still a viable option for any contending team, not as a frontline starter, but as a back end starter that knows how to pitch in the playoffs.
What about John Lester to the Atlanta Braves? Would that make sense?
I think you view that deal as the same as the Cole Hamels deal.
True.
I mean, they tried it with Cole Hamels. Obviously, it didn't work out this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're doing that move, it's the same thing. You want a veteran in that rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a back end piece. He's not a frontline starter.
Yeah.
But he's going to eat you innings. And he's going to keep your team in the game.
Because I was just thinking, I mean, you got Ian Anderson, you got Soroka, you had Lester there as your third guy. That's a pretty
and Fried. Don't forget Fried.
And Fried, yeah. So Lester might be the fourth guy. So
he'll be the fourth guy. Like I said, he's a back end rotation.
Like it'd be a very good fit in Atlanta, I think, and it's something Alex Anthopoulos could look to do. Another option that wasn't picked up is Corey Kluber's $18 million deal. a guy that's dealt with injuries the last couple of years, had some bad luck this year with the Texas Rangers that didn't really work out for him. This guy, you were saying that like if this guy gets back, this guy might be a steal for any team that signs him.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at Lance Lynn a couple of years ago, not that Lance Lynn's the caliber pitcher of Corey Kluber, but Lance Lynn went to the Texas Rangers after his Tommy John with the Cardinals. He was really good on the Cardinals.
Yeah, he
so
was.
then he comes off. He's a little banged up. He's coming back from surgery, and then the Rangers get him. And they sign him to like a 3-year, $30 million deal. And Lance Lynn's been lights out for the last 2 years. I think we're going to see a deal like that where Kluber's going to get a chance to have a 3-year deal at like $10 to $13 million, and it could end up being a steal. I'm not saying it will be a steal. I'm just saying that it could be a steal. And I think that he's a risk that I would take if I'm a team that needs pitching, especially a team with deep pockets. I mean, think about even your team, the Blue Jays. They get Kluber, and he's at a 3.4 ERA for you. With Ryu, that makes you look a lot better and gives you a lot better chance to win.
Absolutely. A guy that was a once dominant starter in the AL East, Chris Archer. One of the most lopsided trades in most recent memory. Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows going over to Tampa Bay for Chris Archer. Clearly just didn't work for him in Pittsburgh. They buy him out for $250K, and they don't pick up his $11 million option. A guy that could, like, do you think this guy could resurrect his career somewhere?
I think he could resurrect his career, but I'm not as optimistic as I am as Corey Kluber.
True.
I think that Archer will have to get the right fit. Like, I think the Cincinnati Reds would be perfect because it seems that whoever goes, Sonny Gray and even Matt Harvey, for that small time he was there, pitch well for them. Then you see Trevor Bauer go over there.
Yeah, and dominates.
Trevor Bauer dominates, and now he's probably going to win the Cy Young, and he's only pitched like that one time in his career with the Indians. So, I think that Chris Archer, if he went to a team like Cincinnati or, Pittsburgh is known for resurrecting too. I just don't think it's a good fit because they're not trying to win games. So, I think a lot of those players just lack motivation. Not in the beginning, but as the season goes on, you keep getting beat down. It's hard to stay positive.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I think that's why he opted out of the season. He did just get surgery.
Yeah, so in his elbow, right?
I believe it's thoracic outlet, same that Matt Shoemaker had. There's another pitcher that it might have been Julio Urias also had it.
Okay.
It's not UCL.
It's in
like
the
a
elbow?
nerve. It's like a nerve.
Okay.
Issue. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Let's talk about some outfielders options that didn't get picked up. We'll start with Ryan Braun, guy who put up MVP numbers early in his career. They buy him out for $4 million. Adam Eaton, his $10.5 million option didn't get picked out. They gave him the $1.5 million buyout. And Brett Gardner, the Yankees' longest serving. He's been there the longest time. They bought him out for $2.5 million and didn't pick up his $10 million option. Out of those three guys I just mentioned, who do you think would be the best guy to sign? Would it be Adam Eaton?
Yeah, for me, it would be Adam Eaton. I think if you're a team looking to get Adam Eaton, he's a top of the order hitter. He's a lefty bat.
Yep.
He's also got the youth on his side compared to those
he's 32.
two guys.
Yeah, he's only 32.
Yeah, he's the youngest out of all of them. He's put up some pretty good numbers. And he's not going to play great defense. I mean, he's decent defensively, but neither is Braun and neither is Gardner. So,
no.
I think Eaton would be the best just because he gets on base. Braun could have a good year. It's not like he's having bad years. So, he doesn't really have bad years. He just has that 270, 16 homers. Like that. That's the type of player he is at this point. Gardner's just a gamer. So
yeah, he is a gamer. Would it be crazy to say that Ryan Braun would replace Gardner?
No, I think that would be a good fit, but he has some injury issues also. Yeah. So it's kind of
he'd fit right in with them.
Yeah, but I could see them getting more of like I even think like Adam Eaton would be a better fit for the Yankees in that small ballpark.
Yeah, lefty bat, short porch.
It's not really a power hitter, but he can poke the ball around. It's the same as same as Gardner. But Eaton probably gets on base. I don't know the numbers, but if I had to guess, Eaton's a better on base guy than Gardner is. So yeah, I could see him going to New York. I could see him going to the Jays. See him
Yeah.
go to the Angels. I could see him going to
There's be a
the Rangers.
lot
I
of
can,
teams.
I feel like there's a lot of teams that could use his services rather than the other two guys because Braun's going to need a DH some days.
Yep. So you see Braun going to the AL just in case there's not a universal DH.
Yeah, I could see Ryan Braun even going to like a team that's up and coming, like the Tigers or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I mean, new manager there, AJ Hinch.
Yeah. We'll touch on that later a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see even a guy like Carlos Santana that also got bought out. He had a $17 million option. Obviously, that was going to get picked up by the Indians.
Yeah.
I could see Santana going there.
That's
Ryan
it.
Braun.
Santana's an intriguing player. I mean, he's a switch hitter. He can hit for power with both sides. Like if you're a GM, like what would you give Santana? Like would it be like 12 to 14?
I think he's like a
18?
12 to $14 million player.
Okay.
I could even, we go back to this the comparable guy.
Yeah.
Santana is a better defender. The guy I'm thinking of is Kendrys Morales, basically.
Yeah.
The deal that the Jays gave him a couple years back was 3 years, $36 million.
Yes.
Yeah, so
like
$13 million a year.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana is probably at this point a better hitter than Kendrys was during that contract. And I think that
how much I love Kendrys Morales.
I mean, I'm just thinking of a switch hitting first baseman.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal that he got. I think that would be the same type of deal that Carlos Santana would get.
Carlos Santana would be younger, right, than Kendrys when he signed that deal?
I have no idea, but Santana makes more contact and gets on base more also. So
yeah, he takes his walks. Kendrys Morales, strikeout machine in a Blue Jays uniform. Give that guy the curveball.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think he's worth more than I don't think he's getting paid that 17 or even 15 million a year. Same with Braun. I feel like a lot of these players, especially with the market the way it is right now, obviously we see all these players getting opted out or getting bought out, I should say. It's because the CBA is coming up, and the owners are gonna say,
"Oh, it's COVID."
Hey, we don't have money because of the pandemic. We lost so much money last year. I don't have money to sign players. So what does that mean? Those players are gonna have to take less money.
What would it show? Like a guy like, let's use this for example, like Brad Hand and Carlos Santana get bought out because we don't have money. But this isn't going to happen. We're like, they're going to sign a guy like Trevor Bauer. Like, would that not be a kick in the face for those guys? Like, you bought me out because you wanted to save money, but you went and got this guy.
Well, I have a story for you right here. I mean, I don't know if you know this story. Torrey Hunter wanted to come back to the Angels, and Jerry Dipoto told him, we don't have money to sign you.
Well, they went and got Josh Hamilton.
Elsewhere, and then signed Josh Hamilton to replace him.
I think he told me that story.
Torrey Hunter was sitting there like, I thought you didn't have money to re-sign me. And then Dipoto was like, well, we didn't have money to re-sign you.
Oh.
So.
It's a business, but like, man, like there can be some pretty harsh
which is a joke, just in my opinion, because Torrey Hunter is one of the best of all time. I mean, you could have brought him back and got Josh Hamilton. I mean, that would have been a nasty outfield. I mean, I don't know. But and going back to my original thought, I just think that. Oh, your question was what? If the Indians.
Like if the Indians let these guys go and then sign a marquee free agent for a lot of money, like would you be like, yo, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I was just using it as an example.
No, I know. I'm not even just saying Trevor Bauer. I just think in general.
Yeah.
Obviously the Indians have continued to put out there they're going to trade Francisco Lindor. So what does that mean? They're going to break it down. They're going to build it back up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Ramirez gets traded within the next 3 seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if Shane Bieber gets traded. And it brings in all these prospects and they're going to rebuild it.
Man,
at the end of the day, there's so many teams in their division that they're not going to be able to compete with. Detroit and Kansas City are already retooling. And then you have
Detroit's going to be good in a few years.
You already have those two retooling.
You got the Twins.
And then you have the Twins and you have the White Sox. And I mean, where does that put the Indians? You have Francisco Lindor.
Or not that.
But
yeah.
You have Francisco Lindor, but what else do you have? And Bieber. But
it's too bad that core couldn't win a World Series. They came close in 16, losing Game 7.
Well, that core was Carlos Santana, Jose
Ramirez,
Ramirez,
Lindor.
Michael Brantley,
Yep.
Lindor.
Who else they have?
Those were their main four, though.
Who is their catcher? They still
Roberto
have
Perez.
Perez. They still have him. Yeah.
And Kipnis was on the team, but
I think one of the most maybe it's not shocking with how the Rays do their business, but like it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when they didn't pick up Charlie Morton's option. Like he's been your guy for the last 3 seasons, and they don't pick up his option. They say that they want to bring him back at a lower cost, but like, what was your thoughts? Like, I thought it's kind of BS,
He's older. I mean, if you have a chance, maybe they have something up their sleeve. Maybe they see somebody on the market. Let's see right here. I have the list. Let's just look at some quick starting pitchers here.
Like what?
Maybe you see a guy like maybe a guy like Anthony DeSclafani. Okay, Anthony DeSclafani has been very good for the Reds. He's been underrated. He's probably an above average pitcher, but they see DeSclafani and they're saying we could probably get this guy for half the money of Morton, and we could develop him, and maybe we make him the next Charlie Morton.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of a guy that's in and out. And these are just guys. I'm just trying to look at the list quickly, but Jake Odorizzi. What if they brought him back? Yeah. I mean, Jake Odorizzi is going to give you the same production as Morton did a year ago. So,
was his ERA in the 3s
this year?
No, last year. Well,
last year he was still dominant, but I'm talking about he had an injury this year.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of guy. Odorizzi can't get the qualifying offer again, and he didn't pitch great this year. But they already had him; they know him.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, there's a lot of middle of the Mike Leake.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike Leake, a guy that can throw out of the pen and throw in the rotation. I'm just thinking if they see Mike Leake and they're like, we only need to get to the 4th inning.
Yeah, I mean, 70 pitches, we're going to the pen.
If we only need to get to the 4th inning and he's really good one time around, why don't we get Mike Leake, who didn't pitch all year, and get him on a cheap deal?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I just think with the Rays, how they are constructed and how they think, and we saw a ton of it in the playoffs, what do you need Morton for if you're not going to let him go?
6 innings, yeah. I mean, the Rays definitely
just getting to the bridge. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to get to the bridge. You got to find the right guy to get to the bridge.
The Rays definitely do business a crazy way, unique way. I hope it's not the new baseball. Like, I hope teams don't start pulling guys early and stuff like that. But the Rays, that's a blueprint that got them to the World Series, and it almost worked out for them in the end. But a few more guys here that their option didn't get picked up. Evan Encarnacion, $12 million by the White Sox.
Not surprising one.
Not surprising for me. Wilson Ramos, he had a bad year. Not surprising. Mitch Moreland.
Cortland Wong is a surprising one for me.
Yeah, definitely.
$12 million is kind of a lot for him.
Yeah,
but
good defender.
Yeah, he's an elite defender and he's a lefty bat, and he's part of their. I don't think the Cardinals. They're gonna have an interesting offseason.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't bring back Wainwright.
We'll see.
They didn't bring back Yachty. I think Yachty's gone. I think
now Colton Wong's gone.
That's 3 pieces from their core. That might not be back. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I agree with you. That's a team to keep an eye on.
And Goldschmidt just had surgery.
Yes.
So how aggressive are they going to be during the offseason?
Yes.
So is my question.
Maybe they take a step back this year. Not sure.
And retool
a little bit, maybe. Mitch Moreland was a little surprising for me. I thought that might have been a good fit, like down the road for a guy like Moreland. Darren O'Day.
Mitch Moreland. The thing about Mitch Moreland that's really confusing to me is that if the DH is staying in the National League, you could have Hosmer and Moreland. And you could DH. You could literally switch them in and out.
Yeah,
and get guys days off.
Yeah.
Mitch Moreland had an awesome 2020, and he's still a doubles machine. I mean, he
one of the best hitters
clutch.
in the game.
I don't know about best hitters in the game, but
like
he's clutch.
in terms of his position, right?
I think he's very underrated, but he's just clutch. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just, he comes up with the big knock.
Guy can take his walks. He can hit a bomb if he need it.
Yeah, I think it was a little stretch to call him the best hitter. At first base, there's a lot of good hitters.
Well, isn't he a DH?
I mean, he's a first baseman. I'm just saying they have Hosmer over there.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah. Well, I think maybe that's a move.
Backpedal, buddy. Backpedal.
No, maybe that's a move that they're saying there might not be a DH next year. So we don't want 2 first basemen on the roster.
Or they're gonna try to get Nelson Cruz and DH him in that lineup.
Oh, that would be scary. That would be
maybe they're thinking, hey, we're gonna go Nelson Cruz 2-year deal, DH him. You got Machado, Tatis, Hosmer, and Cruz.
Yeah, I had to backpedal a little bit there.
So I'm just saying, it might not be a Mitch Moreland thing. It might be just we have our eyes on Marcell Ozuna. We have our eyes on Nelson Cruz, and we're going to bring them in at DH.
Okay, so the options that were picked up, Rizzo's club options picked up, and we are talking that what are the Cubs going to do with this? Are they going to pick it up, or are they going to go one last run here with the core?
I felt like 80% they were going to pick it up, but there was that small chance
that they might let them go.
Yeah, just because of the rumors of them trying to break it down. But it doesn't. I mean, if you're going to trade him, this is the year that he's going to get traded if it does happen.
Is this this has to be the Cubs' last run? No,
I've been saying that this feels like the last 2 years have been their last run, but we'll see. Theo Epstein last year said he was going to break it down. The year before that, he said he was going to break it down.
And then they went and got swept by the Cubs or the Marlins. I don't know.
Well, I think it was John Lester did an interview. I saw this. I don't know where I saw this or heard this, but I guess John Lester is just basically saying it feels like, hey, we won in 2016.
Guys got complacent. You mean?
Yeah.
I think
I might have even heard this on another podcast.
I think I read the same thing about you guys. That's they got their ring and then we're happy. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah,
happens,
I might have heard it. I might have heard it on another podcast or read it somewhere or something. I just remember seeing something.
Yeah.
And the way they play, I don't think they don't want to win, but it's hard. I don't know how to view Chris Bryant's trade value at this point. He has his months where he goes off, and there's that he's streaky, and he won the MVP his second year in the league, and he's very. It's a weird. Who do you build that team around? You got Bryant, Rizzo's getting Baez, and Wilson Contreras. Schwarber don't even count. Schwarber is a DH.
Schwarber's a DH, yeah. No doubt. Yeah,
you can't build it around a catcher. Okay.
You can't build you could build around Baez, but
but it's
what are they gonna do with Bryant? There's talks about him getting traded. I don't know.
Well, Baez is a free agent next year, I believe.
I think you're right. And I
think they're all free agents.
I think Bryant's a free agent too.
Yeah, I think all 4
and Rizzo
agents, they're all making $15 million this year.
Bryant to me is probably the most valuable piece to get traded. Plays third base, hits.
Well, Wilson Contreras,
yeah.
If a team's just if they miss out on Real Muto and they're like, hey, let's go get Contreras. I'd see the Phillies maybe I just think that basically the Cubs are the new Kansas City Royals. The Royals had a great core. Yep. They won a ring.
Now they're just gonna get picked apart.
Yeah, they're gonna get picked apart in the end. They do have money, but they need to retool. And to retool, you're going to have to at least let 2 of them go.
Yep.
Obviously, when the Royals went through this, they had to lose Hosmer and Kane, and then eventually lost Moustakas.
And Moustakas.
It was Moustakas, Salvi, Hosmer, and the only one that's is still there is Salvi.
Yeah.
So I think that we're in the same pace for the Cubs.
Moustakas went to the Brewers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then Hosmer went to the...
No. He get traded to the Brewers? I think he got traded and signed a deal.
Okay. And then Hosmer signed with the...
No, because what happened was Moustakas had a qualifying offer.
Oh, he accepted
waited, and then he was just like, I'm accepting it. but it was like after like way late.
Yeah.
Or no, I think he declined it. Sorry, he declined it. Went through free agency, then just did the same deal with the Kansas City Royals,
Yeah.
1-year deal.
Yeah.
And then he got hot. They traded him to the Brewers.
Yeah.
And then he's a free agent, and he just re-upped the deal for like a 2-year, 1-year deal.
Okay, I was thinking of Hosmer. Hosmer signed that big deal with the Padres. That's right.
Yeah, I think Moustakas got a 1-year deal with the Brewers after that, and then Moustakas got his big deal with the Reds finally.
Reds, yeah. Giancarlo Stanton opts into the remaining 7 years of his deal. That's going to pay him $218 million. I think that's a no-brainer on his standpoint. I bet you there's probably some Yankee fans that hoping that he wouldn't opt out, but there's no chance of that happening. He's not going to get money like that in the open market, although his play in the postseason probably did give him some value.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Yankees are going to be able to try to trade him. I think if anything, they let go of LeMahieu this year and they get Lindor. I mean, I think that no matter what, they're going to end up with somebody.
Who would you rather have? Would you rather have LeMahieu?
I'd rather have Lindor.
You
I'd
think?
have Lindor. They have Gleyber Torres slam him over second base.
True, that is true.
I mean, LeMahieu's a MVP candidate. Obviously, he's a batting champion, but I mean, Lindor's a switch hitting shortstop. Yeah. He's electric. He's a generational talent. I mean, it's no question I would be going with Lindor.
JD Martinez reportedly opted into his deal. I don't think that's a surprise either. Starling Marte, his club option for $12.5 million got picked up. I like the fit. With him in Miami. I thought it was a little crazy for the Diamondbacks to give up on him so early, but I like that fit for Miami. He's a guy that can play at the top of that lineup. They got a lot of young talent, and he's a good veteran to have for those young guys. Iglesias, who had a breakout year this year for the Orioles, his $3.5 million club option got picked up. Those are the options that stuck out to me. Let's talk about the guys that got the qualifying offer. Obviously, Trevor Bauer, George Springer, JT Realmuto. Those are no-brainers. But Kevin Gausman gets a qualifying offer from the Giants. Like, crazy. This guy signed a minor league contract with the Giants and potentially, if he accepts, could turn into $18.6 million. Like, what are the Giants doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know why Kevin Gausman would decline it. I mean, it's the most money that's ever got put up in front of him.
Yes.
Say yes for 1 year and then go back on the market and go get a multi-year deal next year.
Crazy.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why they think that he's gonna get a multi-year $20 million deal.
Like, and if I'm a GM and I look at Kevin Gausman and I see that there's picks attached, I'm not giving up picks to get Gausman.
Yeah,
this guy was a free agent for a long time this year and ended up signing a minor league deal, like I said. So, like, I don't know what the thinking is behind this. Like, he did have a decent year, but you always tell me don't read into much stats.
Yeah, for me, for the listeners, I don't really look at 2020 stats. There's so many guys that had bad years, so many guys that had unreal years.
Yeah.
In reality, for starting pitchers, it was 10 starts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
even though for 30,
Yeah, so I'm not saying that taking anything away from anybody. I'm just saying if for a free agent market this year, you have to base it off of their track record, and you have to look at the big picture before you're gonna. Like Trevor Bauer's the most confusing guy on the market for me because he was elite this year. He's had one other elite year. Mm-hmm. Other than that, he's a average to above average starter.
Mm-hmm.
And what is he worth? And it's hard to. For me, it's hard to figure that out. And I feel like if it's that hard for me to figure out, then it's probably not a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk. And it's also a risk for Bauer to take a 1-year deal too. Because what if he goes
He won't take a 1-year deal. He's getting a 5-year deal.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if he did sign a 1-year deal and had a shit year, his value goes way down. So he's going to cash in. He's going to sign a 4 or 5 year deal, I think. And
I don't think that a low or a low to mid market team will be able to get Bauer. It is going to be a high market team that has money that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It will not be a middle ground team. Because let's just say the Yankees get him, hey, didn't work out, whatever. We still have money. We still can do stuff.
Yeah.
Other than luxury tax purposes, obviously. But what I'm saying is, don't expect like a team like the
like
Twins.
The Twins?
Yeah, like the Twins.
Yeah.
To go out and try to get Bauer, or a team like
the A's.
Even
that's a bad example.
That's low market, but even like a
um,
team like the Braves, I don't think would sign Bauer.
No,
like I think Anthopoulos rather go after Stroman, who he knows and knows what he's getting.
True, that is true.
Than Bauer. That's what I'm saying. Like he's such a obviously with
great
his
year,
phenomenal talent off the field though with the stuff he does with YouTube. But you're also that might even start something between other players of I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want to be the vlogs. All the package that comes with him is what makes it interesting. There's only going to be a handful of teams
that will support that. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't think that he's going to go to somewhere that can build his brand. He's going to go to somewhere that will allow him to be him. And he's going to have to go to somewhere with a very relaxed manager and ownership that's going to let him do his thing, So,
where's John Gibbons when you need him?
I mean, on the Angels on paper make so much sense, but at the same time, I'm like,
it's a no-brainer for the Angels for me.
But see, I don't feel the same.
Like okay, so if you could sign Bauer to like a 3-year deal and give him
I would do 3 years,
$23 million a year, would you do it?
Yeah, because he's better. He's a better pitcher than every pitcher on their roster.
Ohtani went on.
We can't even take that into account, but we can't take that into account right now.
Yeah, facts.
You have to see him do it again.
Yeah, facts. Marcus Stroman gets a qualifying offer. I don't think he's gonna accept. He's
interesting.
He's another interesting guy. Yeah. An interesting thing that you told me, I didn't know this, but once you accept a qualifying offer,
get offered a qualifying offer at all.
You can't get
not
it
to accept, not a decline. Just get offered.
You can't get it again.
Yeah.
And that affects Justin Turner this year, Nelson Cruz, and Marcell Ozuna. Those 3 got qualifying offers before. So if a team loses them, they don't get any compensation for them. Interesting fact that you brought to me. I thought that was really cool. Notable players that didn't get qualifying offers. Tanaka. I don't know. He's still a pretty solid starter. He's not an ace anymore. He's 2-3.
I think their team will give him $18 million.
So, were you surprised that he didn't get it? They're just gonna let him walk for nothing?
I'm not surprised because the Yankees probably have their eyes on other.
True.
The Yankees they got a plan. Obviously, they don't see him in his. If he was part of their plan, it's gonna be on a multi-year deal. So if they can get him on a 3-year $45 million rather than give him a $18 million 1-year deal,
that's
obviously
15.
It's 15 a year. So what I'm saying is, if they feel that he's still part of our plan, but we want him on a longer term deal, then they're going to do that rather than giving him a 1-year deal. And I think Paxton, same thing. Or they just feel, hey, you know what? It's time. It's ran its course. He's gotten seen in the the AL East for 7 years.
Yeah.
And let's make a change. I mean, obviously, look at David Price. I was really intrigued when David Price got traded over to the Dodgers because he's in a new division finally.
Yeah.
He played that small time in Detroit, but other than that, his
Toronto
whole career was in the AL East.
Yeah, Toronto and Rays.
Yep. And the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox, that's true. Marcus Semien, a guy that was a top 3 candidate for the MVP
in 2019.
They're just gonna let this guy walk for absolutely nothing.
I think Oakland should have done a qualifying offer.
Absolutely, at least get something for the guy if you decide.
Because at the end of the day, even if you if he does accept it,
he's worth the money. Yeah.
Trade him if you're not in it. Trade him mid-year for the prospects.
Absolutely.
And you pay half his salary. It's only $9 million for him.
Like that made me shake my head a little bit. Like I get like they do things a different way. Like they're a low budget team, but man, I thought they would at least give him that qualifying offer.
Well, obviously they feel that they have an opportunity to sign him back.
Maybe.
I mean,
that is also a possibility.
I mean, he might love it there. And I mean, I see them a lot and he seems like he's very comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not surprised. Like I'm not surprised they didn't give it to him because he was banged up a little bit in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same point, like I could see the argument of giving him one.
Didi Gregorius, Liam Hendricks, another guy from Oakland that didn't get the qualifying offer. Electric closer for them, and Michael Brantley. Those are the guys that stood out.
I think Michael Brantley got I think he was one of them we missed. I think he's gotten the qualifying offer before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got the qualifying offer with the Indians.
Okay, no, I missed that one. Maybe you're right about that. Is there any guys that didn't get the qualifying offer that stood out to you that I missed?
Who do you got here? Tanaka, Hendricks, Didi, Brantley, Semien.
You mentioned Paxton.
Paxton. Well, he was hurt all year.
Yeah.
I mean, Jose Quintana, maybe.
Mm-hmm. He's on the Cubs still, right?
He's a free agent.
No, I mean he pitched for the Cubs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, starting pitching wise, not really. And relievers, obviously, Hendricks ain't gonna get $18 million on the market. He's gonna get max $15 million.
Yeah.
Most relievers don't get that qualifying offer. It was high this year too, $18 million. Usually it's like 17.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so surprised about that Gosman one. It's still blows my mind.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm looking through it real quick to see if there's anybody that catches my eye. That maybe you would miss. Did you see that D. Gordon changed his name to D. Strange Gordon?
Yeah.
Oh, Andrelton Simmons. That's a little surprising. Not really surprising to me, but
I think there's a fallout somewhere in there.
Yeah, he made $15 million this year.
He opted out weirdly at the end of the year. You know, like something. We're not getting the full story with Andrelton Simmons.
I'm not completely surprised about Andrelton Simmons just because I feel like, hey, bridges burned. What if he accepts it?
Yeah.
And then we wanted to use that $18 million on pitching
somewhere else. Yeah.
But you would think they would be trying to do that.
Yeah. They need to get a GM and assistant GM first.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
No, I mean, just some notable free agents that I'm seeing right here that we haven't mentioned yet is like a guy like Kike Hernandez. I think a guy like Kike Hernandez and even Jock Peterson from the Dodgers are going to get chances to go be starters.
Yeah.
And
I love Kike Hernandez, like a guy that can play all over the field. He's basically a right-handed Marvin Gonzalez, no?
He's energetic. Marvin Gonzalez is another free agent, but it's not coming off great years.
Yeah.
JBJ.
Yep.
Nick Markakis could be a good fit with the team.
Professional ABs with that guy.
This guy, up and down on, Jay Bruce. Could be just a slugger on a team.
He was on Philly this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Tommy La Stella.
Yeah. Another guy had a good year the last couple of years.
Underrated, we should say. Freddie Galvis. He's going to play some good defense. He's going to poke the ball around. He's a low market option.
Switch hitter.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him on the A's. And let's just talk about your boy real quick, Jonathan VR, also a free agent.
Oh my god! Come on, dude. I can't, dude. They gave up the 14th best prospect in the Jays system, and when the Blue Jays' backs are up against the wall, this guy wasn't in the lineup. What is going on with that? Jeez.
Well, would you like to let the world know?
No. We don't need to talk about that, buddy. We don't need to talk about that.
Let's just say that Blake had some very bold.
I must have had a few too many beers at the time I said that. I don't know.
He was on cloud 9 when they got this guy, which is a joke.
Yeah.
No offense to Jonathan VR. The guy that he was comparing him to me, was a joke. And we're not going to say who it was because I don't want to put him on the spot. I mean, I do, but I could be a nice guy sometimes. Don't have to be jerk all the time.
Let me slide today.
Let's look at this catcher market real quick before we get into something else here. But honestly, some decent choices on the market if you're looking for a catcher other than JT Realmuto. James McCann. He's been very good the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Yachty with the leadership. Zanino, he just got dropped by the Rays.
Yep.
He's not great, but
he could say he showed in the
go to a World
playoffs
Series.
that he can hit the long ball, right? Still hit it.
Robinson Chirinos. I've always liked Robinson Chirinos.
Jason Castro.
Yeah, he had an up and down year. I mean, he had his moments. Wilson Ramos isn't a catcher no more. I don't know why.
No, he's a DH.
Put him in the DH category.
Yeah.
Alex Avila. I mean, Alex Avila wouldn't be a bad little
he's a
pickup.
Good backup catcher.
Obviously, catcher is not a premier position. But I just thought it was notable to look at this. Oh, Tyler Flowers. I just thought it would be notable to look at this for if you're a fan and your team needs a catcher. There are some names out there. Look for the pitch framers. Look for the guys that are going to throw out runners. Robinson Chirinos is a good one.
Something tells me that JT Realmuto, is that how you say it? Realmuto. I can't say that name. I have trouble with that. He's going to the Yankees. I think
DJ, even though it's a great fit and he's comfortable there, I think DJ LeMahieu might get an offer in front of him that's just
it's too hard to.
Hey,
yep.
Yeah, it might be like a 6-year deal, and he's like, "Hey,
yep,
I had my time," and they replace him with Realmuto, and they move on from.
I think they're trading Gary. I don't think that we're gonna see Gary Sanchez in a Yankee uniform come April. Like I don't see it at all.
I mean, who are they gonna trade him for? He has no value.
Like this guy,
would you say trade or DFA? I mean,
Realmuto. Exactly. Like I don't know. Like this guy is a strikeout machine. He is a horrible catcher. Like the guy has a track record of hitting some homers, but like at the end of the day, like the last 2 years have been awful. Like
trade him down to Miami, get a pitcher or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you would get for Gary Sanchez, but I just feel like
I don't either.
I just feel like that. I don't think he'll be a Yankee uniform coming.
Well, you have to also take into consideration maybe Gary Sanchez. I believe he's in arbitration now. Maybe we see him get non-tendered. Maybe he becomes a free agent.
True.
I mean, don't look at the market how it's already playing out. A lot of buyouts, lots of opt-outs. I should say lots of buyouts. Most buyouts are. You know what? Sorry, I gotta bring up the name real quick. I didn't bring up Howie Kendrick. That's disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
So
that's your guy.
Howie Kendrick, also a free agent.
Professional.
That is my guy. I like my professional hitters that are gamers. So sorry about that, Howie. If you're somehow listening to this, I doubt it. But yeah, I just want to say, don't be surprised when the non-tender comes out and we see all these guys start getting.
When is that? Is that like right away?
It's right before the meetings, but the meetings are happening online this year. They're not happening in person.
They're not. Yeah.
So it's probably in about 2 weeks. Arbitration players. You know what? I can just look for you right now.
We got a wonderful thing called the internet.
Yeah. MLB off-season schedule. I always like to look. I legit was looking at this earlier.
Yeah.
And of course, I already forgot. Schedule. Can't spell. Here it is. Okay, today officially free agency starts.
Yeah.
All these awards is all in the next 2 weeks. Deadline for free agents to accept or reject the qualifying offer will be November 11th.
Yeah, they got 10 days. Yeah.
Okay. Non-tender deadline is December 2nd.
Okay, so a month.
So by that time,
we'll get some names.
A team has to offer an arbitration contract
or
to
their
a
free
player.
agent. Yeah.
Yes. And a thing about non-tender candidates, when you sign a non-tender candidate, you still have their arbitration years.
Yes. Yep.
So, for example, this is a bad example because he sucked, but when the Angels signed Justin Bour,
yeah,
he still had even the Phillies, they still had 2-3 years of arbitration years to where if he would have done good, he would still be on the team the next year.
Oh, and that's the same thing with Vogelback. The Jays got Vogelback, and they still had 3 years of arbitration, but they obviously DFA'd him. Now he's on the Brewers. So the Brewers have
the Brewers have
3 years.
Have 3 years of Vogelback right now.
Yeah.
Or they can non-tender him and he becomes a free agent, and then whoever signs him gets that additional arbitration year.
Yeah, makes sense.
But you're signing him to a most of the time 1 year, whatever $1 million.
Yeah. And if he has a good year, arbitration.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Last thing to get into here, obviously the Mets, they get a new owner.
Yes. Stephen Cohen.
There's 2 ways you can look at it. They're either going to be really aggressive this offseason, or they're going to get their feet wet and be good in about 2 years.
Did you see Noah Syndergaard's tweet about the old owner?
I didn't see it.
He took a shot. He's like, he put something like, we got this guy and he's going to spend money. Like, he didn't say that, but that's what he was basically saying. Like, he basically...
Oh, yeah, I heard they're going to be aggressive, but, I mean, every team says they're going to be aggressive.
Realmuto, he's another guy that could go to the Mets. They signed Wilson Ramos. That didn't work out for them, obviously, but the most interesting free agent for me, Springer. Like, I don't know where that guy's going to go.
I mean, I like him in a Padres uniform, but that's just me. I think the Padres, they get one more piece, one pitcher. They get Bauer and Springer. Imagine. I mean, Dodgers.
They could compete.
Might have to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah. That should do it for this episode. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I think we're on Pandora. I think I covered them all there, but. Yeah, we try to release an episode a week. We got crazy work schedules. I'm mostly tied up on the weekends with hockey games, and I know your work schedule is pretty busy, but appreciate everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
All right, take care, guys.